Hello guys, and I need your help to start this video. Please imagine yourself 10, 20 years ago reading a newspaper which says North Korean soldiers, actually thousands of North Korean soldiers, are now fighting in Europe because Russia invited them there. And not just soldiers, they come with ammunition and thousands of North Korean ballistic missiles that target European cities. What would be the reaction of the United States, the European Union, your own country 20 years ago? Perhaps something very decisive, very strong, and I suppose very military, but not anymore. Today, we hear silence from the United States, from the European Union, perhaps fear that they label as de escalation management and grave concerns. This does not stop authoritarian armies. Putin and Kim Jong-un officially, openly confirmed that the North Korean soldiers are now fighting for Russia in Ukraine, thousands of them. And they started building another bridge that will connect to Russia and North Korea. I wonder why. But Donald Trump seems to be more concerned with Ukraine mineral deal than with the fact that thousands of North Korean soldiers, with the total support and permission from China, gain invaluable combat experience in the largest since the Second World War conflict in the center of Europe. Sometimes I feel that only people in Ukraine and people who follow real updates from Ukraine truly understand how wrong these modern democratic leaders are, observing how effectively totalitarian, authoritarian regimes back each other up. Let's discuss that. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine that is now fighting lots of nuclear countries at once. And if you want to see the defeat and demilitarization of this evil, subscribe, we will discuss that on the channel soon. And let's start with the latest news. Russia and North Korea are building a new bridge that will connect two of these dictatorships. They will use it for cars. Right now, they have one bridge that is already extensively used by the Russian army. It connects two countries and it supplies Russia with the ballistic missiles, with artillery shells. I had a separate video on the channel based on Reuters investigation, which claims that right now more than a half of all weapons that Russia uses in this war against Ukraine are of the North Korean production. Ukrainian troops confirm that too because they see the diameters, they see the elements inside of these missiles and the quality. The quality is low, but once again, they've spent months in this war, and I'm sure they will learn, unfortunately. The European or American soldiers do not want to learn anything. They prefer to pretend that by sacrificing Ukraine, these well-trained North Korean soldiers, Russian soldiers, won't continue, which is, of course, absurd. And they build this road to strengthen the cooperation between the dictatorships and to improve the logistics. Perhaps Russia will need more missiles, more North Korean soldiers, and it can also be used as a channel for direct supplies from China, but in disguise. Because it's quite obvious that for this decades of isolation, North Korea survived because China allowed it to survive. And once again, it's 100% obvious that North Korea participates in this war just because China allowed it. If you want to see the collapse of the dictatorships in literally every corner of the world, because they keep growing, subscribe and demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine by sharing these videos. This new bridge will be like 1 kilometer, 2 lines, but it will aid this transportation between North Korea and Russia. Putin and Kim Jong-un speak openly about that, and they speak openly about the participation of the North Korean troops in war against Ukraine. Please remind this fact to those who keep shouting, Ukrainians cannot win this war alone, then they should surrender, why do we help them? I am sorry, Russia was the so-called second strongest army in the world. Russia is the largest country in the world. Donald Trump keeps repeating how strong Russia is, Russian economy. He is like the best PR manager for the Kremlin. And in this context, Russia fights with the help of North Korea, Iran, and China. And Ukraine keeps asking, please sell us Patriot systems. We are prepared to pay. We are very grateful for the support that we received during these previous years of resilience. But friends, don't you see, I'm not exaggerating. It is not just about Ukraine. North Korean soldiers are not fighting to protect, something that Kremlin dictates them. They don't speak Russian, they don't understand anything. They receive the necessary trainings, and Kim Jong-un receives billions of dollars from Russia. Russian economy is on the brink of the collapse, partially because they cannot afford producing all of the weapons they need on this 3-year blitzkrieg, which is a total failure. But they need to pay North Korea, and North Korea earns money for the first time in history, perhaps during this last century. They've received more than $20 billion from Russia during these months of their soldiers' deployment. And right now, they are not just a supporter, an ally, a partner of Russia. They are a top supplier of Russian army. Without the support of North Korea, without the support of China, Russia would not be able to continue this war long ago. Just think about Ukraine. Think about the size of our bravery, the strength of our resilience. We are fighting against Russia, the largest country in the world, North Korea, most unpredictable country in the world, both nuclear countries, Iran, we all know what Iran is, and China. And it feels like the United States White House right now. 5 countries. Guys, that is insane. And the only reason we fight to protect our land. All that countries fight to destroy the democratic world order, to ruin the international law, to create lots of precedents for future attacks in every corner of the world where dictatorships and nuclear powers will want to reshape anything. And in this context, when North Korean soldiers are officially present in Ukraine, when Putin and Kim Jong-un openly comment on that on the news, we hear feedback from the European Union. With all our efforts, we will not be able to find even 25,000 of peacekeepers to come to Ukraine. They read that. They know that. They see what Trump does to economy, what Trump does to this checks and balances system inside the United States. They see that all of the valued democracy, all of the freedom is on the brink of the collapse, and dictatorships, authoritarian regimes will prove to be very stable and very trustworthy and very reliable. Because, come on, the United States do not allow Australia to give old Abram tanks to Ukraine. Donald Trump, who loves money, does not want to sell defensive Patriot systems to protect Ukrainian civilians from Russian attacks for $15 billion that Ukraine is prepared to pay. Don't you think something very wrong has happened to our part of the world? Once again, think about the beginning of this video. Imagine yourself 20 years ago reading the very same news in your local newspaper, what would be the reaction? And today, you hear this news, you read this news, and you think, whoa, it's not happening near me. It's not in Spain, it's not in Australia. Guys, it is happening closer and closer to our borders, to your borders, to our everyday. Like in case with Ukraine, it is already happening. But just a war ago, I was the same calm civilian who did not believe it is possible in the 21st century that bombers will bomb your cities like during London Blitz. It is already happening, and Putin and Kim Jong-un are openly saying that. And in response, escalation management, grave concerns, and not enough soldiers even for logistics and peacekeeping operations. We are in great trouble, and the only thing that makes me optimistic is the Ukrainian armed forces and the determination of my people. And all of you who keep watching this concerning videos, who read the updates and who want to know the truth. That is very important. Please share these videos and join me on X, Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, Discord, the links in the description of this video, and subscribe to my new channel where I speak about the reasons why did Russia invade Ukraine, for example, in the latest video. I'm always very grateful when our community grows there. It's more of a personal, emotional perspective, and let me know in the comments below what other videos would you like to see on both channels. Also, are you available this Saturday for a live stream? Because we've missed some and I've missed you enormously. 9 p.m. Kyiv Saturday, yes or no, in the comments below. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel. Check the merch shop for lots of good items that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine. And please, don't be afraid. I'm a Ukrainian, I'm in Ukraine, and I'm not afraid, because fear is the worst strategy when you encounter a bully. Unfortunately, there is an epidemic of bullying in the world, but I am sure we are stronger than they think. Thank you so much for your support, and Slava Ukraini!